So, today we're once again going to go through this amazing site that I found yesterday and that I've also been recording yesterday, which is going to come today, or which is going to be published today, this episode. But yeah, it is basically, to just explain it, it is a website that is kind of, I don't know how. I would actually really like to know how. Searching through, I don't know, the whole internet and trying to find some interesting things. As this one, for example, I'm going to read. On a flight, the pilot and the co-pilot share the cockpit, but they never eat the same meal in case one of the meals is contaminated. And you can also just press on find out more. Then you're going to see the original article. I do want to point out and have to point out that sometimes the source or the quote-unquote original article is I don't know if it is trustworthy. I don't know if these websites are trustworthy because I don't know. I think this website is just clearly or just solely searching through the whole internet and trying to find something that's quite interesting. And yeah, therefore I just don't know. I just don't know whether it is a good thing to listen to them all the time without checking the sources. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. But just because I thought about it, I thought, well, does this actually make sense? Is it actually a lower chance that the same meal is contaminated and that one of them eats it? Of course, well, I thought about it and I came to the conclusion, yes, it does make sense that they eat different meals. Because yeah, I think in terms of chances, in terms of probability, it is actually just lower probability that both of them are contaminated if they're just not eating the same thing. Because I guess the chance is 50-50. Either it is contaminated or it is not. And when it is two people that eat the same meal, then the chance is, I think, way higher that it occurs. I think, isn't it? I'm actually not sure. I mean, if it is, well, isn't it then 0.5 times 0.5, which is 0.25 or something? Well, I'm not quite sure. The thing is, they have been doing this for years or maybe even hundreds of years. I don't know how long we're having airplanes, and therefore, I don't know. I'm just not going to outsmart them. This is something that I think can be sure of. I guess at least. Robin Williams was so good at his work that he kept improvising, and the writers of Mork and Mindy left gaps in the screenplay so that he could improvise along with the play. Which is really fucking interesting. I mean, if you're so good that you're so good, then it is amazing. You have taste receptors in the stomach, intestines, pancreas, lungs, anus, testicles, and the brain. But I mean, yes, we maybe have them, but are they also connected to the brain so that we just notice things? I don't know. The only thing that I know is that you can indeed absorb alcohol through your anus. Why I know this, just don't ask. No, I haven't tried it out. But it is, I think, just some common thing that, or common thing, I don't know if I can say that, but if you're just having a piece of whatever that's soaking alcohol and you're just inserting it into your anus, then you can indeed get drunk. And I think also just very drunk to the point that you can also just die because you don't really get upset in terms of your stomach is not getting upset because you're not drinking it. Because you're just, I think, I'm not sure, it is going right into the bloodstream, which, is dangerous. When buying oranges, take the orange with your hand. If it feels light, it is not juicy and will taste rather woody. Pick the one that feels heaviest compared to similar size. They will be the tastiest. I do wonder if there's more about that because buying fruits is always a fucked up thing. Should I buy the hard one? Should I buy the soft one? Should I buy the more green one? Should I buy the not green ones? Learn to change a tire. I actually don't want to change a tire. 13 skills you can master in 10 minutes or less. Oh, I see. Identify the freshest strawberries. Smell them. If they smell like strawberries, buy them. They will taste divine. If they look gorgeous but have no smell, they will have no taste. Simple and foolproof. I see. And oranges, pick up the orange or grapefruit. If it feels light, it isn't juicy and will taste rather woody. Remove tourists from vacation photos. Learn how to speed read, which is, by the way, very interesting, gotta have to say. Comfortable fit everything in your suitcase. You can learn the art of packing. Okay. Calm nervousness. Chew gum when you're approaching a situation that would make you nervous, like public speaking or bungee jumping. I don't know if bungee jumping is a good idea. I mean, if you just accidentally breathe in your chewing gum, then yeah, you could die. Not good. I would not be eating if it were in danger, so I'm not in danger. Turn your watch into a compass, hold your watch horizontally and point it so that the hour hand is facing into the sun. At the center point between the 12th and the hour hand is your north-south line. What? At the center between the 12th and the hour hand. Where's the 12th hand, motherfucker? North. Let me Google this. Watch true compass. I see, I think. So you're pointing your hour hand, or what did they say? I think the hour hand towards the sun, which is, well, the sun is actually there, kind of. Well, I actually don't know. Or this one, north-south. But the problem is, well, anyway, I think it is a cool thing. You have to probably read a little bit more about that to really take advantage of that. There was a tradition of foot binding in China in the foot binding in the 10th century called lotus feet. The ritual was composed of applying painfully tight binding to the feet of young girls to prevent further growth, because small feet were considered as a symbol of beauty and displaying social status. This ideal size of the feet was to be no more than 8 to 10 centimeters, and young women chose to violet feet, hoping to marry rich. Later, this tradition was banned in 1912 by the Chinese government, which is, I think, a good idea because it doesn't look good. And I also wonder, what about balance? What about balance? Can you really balance with those feet? Because I don't really think so. I really don't think so. The fastest growing nail is on the middle finger. Why is not entirely known, but nail growth is related to the length of the finger, with the longest fingers growing nails the fastest and shortest the slowest. I think I can also just validate that. I actually don't really know, but I think so. But yeah, pretty interesting. Maybe it's also the strongest. For me, it is the middle finger. I don't know what it is for other people. It's probably just gonna differ from person to person sometimes, because we also have different toe lengths and toe structures and whatnot. But I think that the middle finger is the one that we're having the most control over, isn't it? It's definitely not the ring finger, definitely not the pinky, and also not the thumb. But the first one, I don't know what it's called actually. But the middle finger is the middle finger is good. Let's put it like this. Not everything is what it looks like. The world map we're used to is more Western focused and stretches out to the size of continents near the poles. Africa and South America are actually way bigger. Are they? I see. Pretty interesting. I didn't know that. In Japan, 90% of mobile phones are waterproof because youngsters use them even in the shower. I gotta have to check out the article because I don't know what they're referring to as mobile phones. Even companies like, this must be a really 2016. It's not that old. Which, by the way, I think is also an issue. If we think about that, what are you? Please go away. I don't want to have you there. Thank you. Japanese waterproof mobile phone. Well, I don't know. At these times, it is just very common that they are waterproof. But back in the days, it might have been just something that's really not usual, of course, I think. And, but yeah, why are you using it in a shower? It is some electronic device. We confess very often about the similarities we have with our parents, some of them good, some maybe bad, and we can't change that. But guess what? A new generation of babies is coming, which is called designer babies. The difference will be that their parents would have an option to choose their baby's genes. They could not only protect them from diseases, but also could select their eye color, hair, and skin tone. Which is, I think, it is not scary. In terms of diseases and something like that, I think it is great. I think it is amazing, because fuck diseases. They are fucked up. And in terms of skin color and eye color, I don't know. Skin color I could also to some degree understand, as just white couple. I don't know if it is just that easy for you if you're just having a baby of color, or just also actually vice versa, that you're just a couple of color and you're having a white baby. I don't know, it could be, it depends on what society is like in the future, of course. But maybe there could be some troubles with that. I'm not gonna lie, just everything is quote unquote possible. A female dolphin will assist in the birth of another's baby another's baby dolphin, and if it is a difficult birth, the midwife might help pull out the baby. Other dolphins will swim around the mother during birth to protect her. That's fucking amazing. This is what I call society, I guess. No, I don't want to subscribe. Thank you. I've actually also had that. How Ice Cube chills the drink is the very opposite than you thought. It is not transferring its chill to the drink, but it's absorbing the heat from the drink, because heat always travels from warm to colder areas in order to equalize temperatures. And yes, this is something that you might also know if you had physics in school. When awake, the human brain produces enough electricity to power a small light bulb, which is insane, if you think about it. The state of Alaska is the only state whose letters can be typed in a straight row of keyboard letters. Alaska. Unuseful, but interesting. Are we the only dreamers on Earth? Have you ever watched your dog while sleeping how wag its tail or move the legs? While it's hard to say for sure whether the animal is truly dreaming, researchers believe that it is likely that animals do indeed dream. Just like humans, animals go through sleep stages that include cycles of REM and NREM sleep, which are very important cycles because, for example, the REM state or the REM cycle is the one that we are recovering in and whatnot. And yeah, at this point in time, I've been really sleeping a lot. And it doesn't say, I think just because I haven't been sleeping like I don't know. I think I've been just sleeping like 8 hours 2 weeks before for 5 days in total, which is not nice. And, because traveling and just being with my class and stuff like that, I've been talking about it. I've already talked about it. The thing is, I think my body tries to recover quite. And I also seem to need that sleep because I'm actually sleeping, which is not always the case, just really not always the case, because I tended to really have problems with sleeping just before, maybe just because I was nervous because of, the travel thing or something else. But yeah, I mean, it is fucked up. Not being able to sleep is a fucked up thing. It's not cool. I don't like it. And sleep is important. So focus a bit more on sleep. Even though yawning is such a common activity, the reason behind this large gabbing of the mouth are still not fully understood. There are many theories about why we yawn. They include boredom, tiredness, and because someone else is doing it. Earlier, yawning was believed to be a biological mechanism in humans and primates such as apes and chimpanzees to keep the brain from overheating. I mean, when we are yawning, I do think that we are breathing in quite heavily, aren't we? So I have also not really read. The funny thing is, it's been an exercise, I think, in an English exam that I've had like just 2 years ago or something. And I still remember it because it was something like, that's actually quite interesting, Not like just all the other fucking exercises that are just, not really interesting. But anyway, they said that we are yawning just because we try to, what did they say? Prepare ourselves for another task that we are going to have in the near future. Whatever it might be, but I don't know, it could be the case. I really don't know. Studies have found that there are significant gender differences in dream content. One study analyzed 100,000 people's reported dreams and found that while men often dream of cars, weapons, and violence, women's dreams center around familiar situations such as home or the workplace. I gotta have to say, I just don't really believe in that. Well, men often dream of cars, weapons, and violence. Maybe it's just something that I do not want to believe. Could also be the case, but I don't know. Anyway. It is stuck, this motherfucker. Everyone will agree with the fact that Napoleon Bonaparte was a brave and resolute man, but few people know that Napoleon was afraid of cats. He probably killed all the fucking cats there were. Interesting though. If you're dissatisfied with the extra pounds, you could try out daily routine that will help you eat less. Before lunch, serve the table, then put the food on smaller plates, and during lunch, try to eat slower to feel the food and its taste and smell. Besides that, I think one of the best advices that one can give to somebody that is trying to lose some weight is eating high volume and low calories. For example, even though for, I think, a normal, quote unquote normal, I am also normal, but I'm just actually very active, and therefore I just also need more food, kind of. A normal person, man, my age, somehow needs around 2,000 calories, which is kind of the quote unquote normal amount of just calories that one needs in a day. And so what I'm eating is, for example, 1 kilogram, even more, 1.6, I think. Yes, actually nearly 2 kilograms, fuck man, of beans and lentils. Just by itself, I'm not eating it by itself, but I'm also just adding carrots, but they're just, I don't know, I think 100 grams are having 20 fucking calories. 20. It's nothing. Which means that you could eat 500 grams of it, which is half a kilogram, which is quite a lot. And you get like 100 fucking calories, which is really quite nothing. So my point is, eating those nearly 2 kilograms of beans and lentils have quite 1,000 calories, a little bit more, which is half of what I actually need. And it is 2 meals for me. So I don't know, like I should actually be eating just not like that because, I actually want to gain a little bit of weight. But I don't know, think about it. And it's also very cheap. I mean, 1 can, and I'm buying it in cans because it makes more sense because of the protein content and because of just also because of the volume, because I just want to feel satiated. I just don't want to feel hungry. It is something just, I don't know, I just don't want to have that. Of course, I could also just cook fresh lentils. I could also cook whatever. But the big but is that that I'm eating 100 grams and I'm having the same amount of protein and just way less volume and also way less calories. Or actually quite the same calories, but I'm having just way less of the volume. And I just need the volume to stay satiated because I don't want to feel hungry. And coming back to it, 1 can of it costs 0.69 cents or 0.9669 cents, yes, which is quite nothing, which is like if you're eating 2 cans a day and a little bit of carrots, they're not that expensive as well. And some olive oil most often added to it, but not too much, just a bit, so that it is not like just, I don't know, I don't want to fry it, even though I just always overdo it with the olive oil, but it is fine for me. But the thing is, 30 grams of olive oil having quite 300 calories, which is insane. 30 grams. But yeah, anyway, so if you want to lose weight, eat high volume and less calories. It is kind of the best thing that you can actually be doing. Anyway. Let's move ahead. When a man first approaches a woman, she will base 55% of her initial impression of him on his appearance and body language, 38% on his style of speaking, and 7% on what he actually says. So, dress well. I think this is the point there. Dress well. In situations when you can't use the bathroom, you can hold your... Oh, I've already had that, so I'm gonna skip that. I'm actually very sorry because some people just don't know about it. But yeah. In January 2014, Google introduced the incubation of its smart contact lens project to monitor blood glucose levels contained in human tears. The smart contact lens project, which is the top secret Google X lab for several years, debuted a potential solution for effective blood glucose control in people with diabetes. Which is pretty cool, but I wonder how you're seeing this, if there's like some display action there, or if it is just... if the color changes or something, which, could not be cool, could also be cool, but yeah. If you want to test the porosity of your hair, I've already had that, so I'm actually going to skip that. In the 3rd century BC, and this is going to be the last one, there was a system of single dots that separated verses and indicated the amount of breath needed to complete each fragment of text when reading aloud. The different lengths were signified by a dot at the bottom, middle, or top of the line. For a short passage, a dot was placed mid-level. This is the origin of the concept of a comma. Very interesting. But yeah, as I said, this is going to be the last one. And I wish you the best health, of happiness, and all success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy basically means just being a nice person, and then also being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 other questions that I'm having you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty cool thing as well. Yeah, one other question that I'm having for you is: what could you especially and particularly say to another person that is really gonna change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and I'm gonna see you the next time.